Good evening all, welcome back to another video. Peter Kennedy, Kennedy's Garage, Portlaw. Today we have a 2017 Mazda 6 and our problem is when we get in, press our button, clutch pressed, press the button again, no action happening in here with a light flashing in here. Can be started. We have actually done, on this car, we've done engine repair. On my initial assessment, when I was trying to get the car running, which the car would run very badly with smoke bellowing out the back, I did state to the customer that we have an issue with our button or some kind of a problem there, but primarily we're going to get our engine repair done. So, car got in, engine repair done, and now the car is up and running and driving around as I want it to do. So, a day or two later, I have this ailment or problem. What I did have from the get-go, I had no lighting in that button. It's actually doing it again there now. I have no lighting in it now again. But anyway, the remote center locking on this is not working. Okay, that's a definite and a given. Don't know if it's the key as of yet. What I did do, I did give the key to a chap that repairs keys, and I said, look, will you try and fix this thing for me? And he did come back to me, and he did say it was done. Now, the light was lighting primarily, but then it started getting very, very dim, and maybe we do need a new key. But at this point in time, I'm not concerned with my remote central locking just yet. I am concerned with that. And why am I concerned with that? I'm just going to show you. So I won't even press the clutch. I'm just going to press the key against the button. Ignition on. So it does start once I put the key up against that. So in theory, the keyless entry system is not being picked up. You have a little orange light flashing there if you can see it. And then if and when I do a code scan, I'm getting a B108B fault. Done a little bit of research, done a little bit of homework on it. And just when I was inside sitting down looking at a computer, thought maybe a fuse blown or some of these things from whatever garage may have had it before me. Had a look, ran through a couple of fuses, all good. Okay. So I'm going to show you where I'm at and what I have done so far. Now, we have in here that fault. I'm not concerned with my humidity sensor yet. Don't even know where that is, to be honest with you on these things. But that 108B24 start button A circuit, and that's in start stop unit. Okay, if I head in here and I'm going to look at live data, and I've just been looking, and I can go run into the computer there if we need to, and I'll show you where I got this information. I've just done a fast Google, and on my fast Google, there's actually two items in here that I'm concerned about, but we'll go on about the second one I see in a moment. I'm going to roll down, scrolling down. Okay, so start stop button 1, start stop button 2. If we're looking at those highlighted icons, when I press that button, I am getting one of them to turn on. So the start stop button 2 is turning on. Can you see that? One is not. Now, so I have the fault in there, but I also have no activity here. So I'm rolling down here. This is one that does mither me a little bit. Steering wheel absolute angle. Okay, it's crackerjack number. But the crackerjack number that I'm seeing in here is not corresponded or coincided with. I think it was an ABS I went into. Can't even turn on my ignition now. In ABS, I have no change in that. But is it just that this car does not? It has no reverse camera. So maybe, don't know yet. But I do know if I go into ABS or electronic power steering maybe I was in, I can see a steering angle and it is rotating to about maybe 500 degrees and back to 500 degrees. So that's 360, and then we maybe have it over to around here, which is about 500 degrees and back to 0, and we have minus back to about 500 again, or somewhere around there. So I'm not concerning myself with that as of yet. But what I am concerned with is that bit, okay? Now what it says is body control module is tied into that button, but primarily I'm thinking I'm going to look at our start stop button. Now the start stop button I know is tied into the car, so I just done a fast Google, and this might be, maybe, do I see it up here, B108B24, and it does say body control module. So I'm going to swap out something that's fast and easy. So I just Googled this, so this information is online, okay? But it is saying that switch the engine off or on, press the button 5 times or more, perform DT. Where am I going? I'm kind of even losing my train of thought. I don't know where I saw it, but what I did see was that if the car saw the difference between button 1 and button 2, and it is all one button, but circuit 1, circuit 2, if it saw the difference 5 times, it's going to trigger the fault. So I went out and I made a frame with a pondering idea of what I was going to do. I was going to get another switch out of another car that I had scrapped or broken around here, or was going to break out of a 17 car. So I have done that, and I'm going to put in the video. I think I could have recorded it that way rather than that way. Anyway, we'll make it work, and I'll show you what I found, but I did get the switch. So I'm going to put the video in now. Okay guys, just for a cross reference, out to a car that I'm actually in the process of scrapping. So it's my own car, but I've popped out this stuff all right, but I haven't done any, it's still running basically at this stage. So looking at the same live data, start stop button 1, start stop button 2. What should happen, key just run down there, and I should be able to press this twice, which should turn on the ignition. We're looking at our data there, both on when I press the button. Once I leave it go, off, on, off, both of them come off. So in theory, this is what we're encountering on the other vehicle. We're not seeing this to happen. Back to the other car and we'll see where we're going. I'm in the process of pulling that button out to try in the other wagon. We'll just see what happens. I do know that these are not transferable. That's the only thing. They're coded into an immobilizer, and lads have told me they're not, but they are. So if you change that switch, the car will not start. That's a definite, or at least what I'm believing to happen in the next couple of moments. And now I'm back to where we're at. So there's the switch that I got out of the other car. The live data, as you just saw, was showing that we have change in, as it says, button 1, button 2, we also have it in. So both of those live data PIDs are changing with that button. So I'm thinking that I'm going to change out this thing, okay? It's fairly easy. That panel actually just pulls out. So I'm going to, if I can, throw it up to one side with one hand. Now, I generally put my hand in here, and this panel does pop off. Okay, and then this panel does pop off also. Now, I do believe that these switches are tied into the car. So they are, in theory, coded, I believe, or into the immobilizer system. So I'm thinking that maybe I'll start the car. Okay, if the car is up and running, did I just turn on hazard lights? Okay, if the car is up and running and I open circuit this thing, I'm just going to look at my live data here. Show selected. So if I'm going to press the button, okay, what happens here? We just turned the car off, but it was on. Which did I see them? Okay. I'm seeing both of them change there now, actually. Can you see that? Interesting. So could this be, what's happening here now? So when it's in that state, flashing green, we are now changing. Then it went off. I'm putting out of the switches here to see is there any change in that. Okay, this is interesting, isn't it? I'm just out of popping out the switches because it was doing intermittently what I didn't want and intermittently what I did want. So we're just going to get back out of here and just see what's in here now. Oh, crikey. Now, will the ignition turn on for us now, though? Oh. Okay, now it's doing nothing other than giving me flashing lights. Okay, so we're going to go back to our old switch. Okay, lads, right now at this point in time, just due to transparency, right, I have the old switch gone back in again, but now we've a non-start, okay? So we can't even, with the key, she won't. Wait, are we back? We're back. She just went kind of funny on me for a moment there. Okay, and she will start. But I'm going to show you just on this yoke, this test for a radio frequency signal. If I press on this, I have nothing coming from the key. Okay, so this is just an example. Another car, another key. Little light in there works. And we can see. Can we see it? Do you see that? It's hard actually to see on camera. Okay. But I have nothing on this one. Did any of them work? No, none of them work. Okay, so maybe even the chap, after the chap got the key, is that still Shatteract? Because he did come back to me. The light was illuminating in here, and he said he checked it and it was fine. I didn't, but right now she's gone dead. He put in new batteries. I put new batteries in beforehand, but I think there's something Shatteract on that key. Yeah, right. We're gonna stop and start again. Maybe afresh tomorrow morning. I'll do a little bit of thinking on it overnight. See if I can contact the chap with the key. We're gonna start there. And is it just that there's not a signal coming from that key? Don't know. Maybe he made or thought it was going to be small, fast and easy, but I don't think it's going to be as small, fast and easy as we think. All right, guys. A couple of days have passed, and why have a couple of days passed? Chap called Alan from KeyFast, who does keys for me, and he was out of commission for a couple of days. So lo and behold, 3 or 4 days has passed, and now he has landed with me. Now, as I stated before, we had done an old repair job on. He had done a repair job on that key, which he believed it to be working, but it didn't and wasn't working. He did also state that when he came after doing a tidy up in the key, that, and I don't know if I said this already, that it wasn't remotely central locking working. So, contacted the customer. Customer has sent me down what he had known as a broken key, which got caught in the door and made bits of the cover, but he had the internals of it. So I got him to send it down to me. So I had and received the internals. The internals of his own key was taken out, put on the passenger seat, and I put the internals of the key he sent me into this one with new batteries, etc. Now, with that key, and I have 2 keys in hand, I'm going to explain why in a second, but with that key, and that is the broken one that he had, the original one, the secondary one, was in total bits altogether. Right now, look at our hazard lights. Did we see that? Hazard lights flash, car should be locked. And then I'll press my unlock button. She unlocks, okay? Now that key here, it's the new key. I'm going to leave it just there. So this is the original outer with the received from the customer guts, we call it. And we get into the car and we go to, just do what we do. Throw the key down there, press button, nothing happens. Okay? Again, if I put the key up against that, she will start, but it has to be held up against that. So, in theory, we're saying we still have something wrong. Still with our light flashing here. Now, if I turn off the car, and did I see that? Lock the car, okay, hazard lights flash. Now we're going to run over here. That key, running up there. So proximity, it's far-ish away from the car. That makes sense? So now there's a new key we got made. Now the new key does the exact same thing. Unlocks the car. Walk over to the car. Open the car. Throw the key in there. So, et voila, we are now starting. And the proximity, which isn't the word that I'd be very familiar with, the proximity sensor, or whatever they want to call it, inside the key, this is the brand new key I got made. That key is working. That car is picking up that key, but not picking up the other one over on the bonnet of the car. But as I said, we still have this thing flashing. Is it only a fault code that's stored in there? What the man has said to me was the proximity part of both of the keys he believes is broken because the new key has fixed it. Now, I don't know how these things work. I don't do keys, I don't replace keys, I don't do any of that crack, so I'm not familiar with this. But the proximity bit on the new key is working, is doing its job, and we do have workable system, but just a light flashing there. So while we're standing here, don't want to be too long-winded, have the scan tool plugged in primarily. We're going to just do a little fast code scan. Is it, fingers crossed, only just a case of a fault code stored in there at this point in time? Do we need to go looking at our position sensor stuff? Here's another frame of thought. Is the position sensors of, or the, you know, remember we were looking at the two position sensor live data PIDs, is one of them working, but then the secondary only works if it picks up a key due to security? Do not know. But I'm assuming that if we go in here now, press, so we don't have a fault with our button, press our button, look at the two position sensors and just see, and then maybe we'll clear faults thereafter. Why are we on a go slow today? Normally this thing goes in at 100 miles an hour. There we go. Going to do a code scan because I do prefer doing a code scan on every module versus on one. Fast code scan, just see what's in there. Humidity sensor. We had seen that. PATS anti-theft transmitter. I'm assuming that our original fault was a B108B. I'm assuming that we're going to hopefully have that fixed. Batteries would have been changed around, keys would have been taken apart, so I could have created and or made that fault. So we're going to go along. Do I clear? We will. Look, we'll go and clear. Quick erase. Now the humidity sensors I'm not too bothered about, but I am concerned with. Okay. We're not flashing at this point in time anyway. Will we go along before we look at live data here? I think we might do that. Whippy-doo! Right, we're going to go in and maybe have a little fast look at our live data here. So we're into start-stop system again. We'll just do the same test as we've done on the other car a couple of minutes back. Live data. What I am kind of allergic to, guys, is stuff happens but I can't see it happening, i.e. our proximity thing here. So there's a signal coming from that. It's getting to something. Haven't a clue. Is it a keyless entry module or something along those lines? Show selected. And when I can't see stuff happening, so internet in here, we have Wi-Fi, but I can't see the Wi-Fi. Can I really test the Wi-Fi? Not really. Okay, we're going to look at this. I'm going to start and stop. So will we get it like that? There's a bit of a glare on the thing, is there? Okay, so maybe you'll see. Okay. Actually, only one of them changed, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to, the car's running now. Stop the car. Yeah, it's only changing one. Still. Okay, we still have some form of an issue in here. The proximity bit is done. By changing the key, we actually fixed, you know, the touch of the button. So we have two problems here. We have that. So is this due to our switch being faulty? Because I think I've shown the internals of the switch. Yeah, we still have a problem in there with that switch. We can't change that. I think I'm going to touch base with Raid, see can they do a coding or programming or whatever we're going to call it on that switch. They said they can do it with a second hand one, so we're going to maybe try that. Cross my fingers they can do this. They said they can. They didn't believe that was tied into an immobilizer, but at this point in time we know it is, just from what we've done. I'm going to do a replacement on that switch. Could it be a wiring related problem? Could it be a switch related problem? I think I'm going to take a part scan into this thing, get a switch into it and see what happens. One little fast look again, boys, because the lads are saying it's not tied into an immobilizer. I do believe it is, but I don't see much, as they are saying, in this thing that does contain, do you know, anything other than just switches and resistors and LEDs and blah, blah, blah. So there's our two switches. I don't know which one is one. They're going straight down here to, where's my keyless entry module? Sorry, oop. Start, stop, system control module. So it really is only a ground coming up, and that ground then getting down to here, and this yoke is not seeing any position from number one. So one of those two switches. I'm going to do a fast switch over at this point in time, put the other switch back into it again, look at our live data, just in case I'm kind of wrong. Back in car, pulled out my few bits and pieces here. Fault code we have are back to the 1008B with our lights still flashing. So the fault we have created and are made just in the last second or so, can't get my switch out, is basically the same fault and our problem that we have had all along. I am not able to get the switch disconnected. Come on, baby. Okay, we're out. So we're going to do the same scenario again, plugging out the switch, which I just realized I didn't show this on the camera already. Plugging out the switch, plugging in the new switch. It is the same. There is same colors on the back of it and all that kind of stuff. We have the light still flashing here. We're going to go along. I'm going to erase codes just to see, is the ignition on? Car shouldn't be running, but it is running. Troubles codes not detected. Again, it's doing kind of funny stuff here. So we're gonna get out of here. Going to get into live data again. Going to look at the same stuff. So the position sensors 1 and 2. It's down here somewhere. Don't want this to be too long-winded for you guys, which I know sometimes I do waffle on a bit. So we're going to go with that. Go with that. Show selected. We just look at that. Okay, so we're going to turn it off now. Okay. Both went off. Okay. Clutch pressed again. Button is green. Hey ho. Hey ho. If you leave off the clutch, that sometimes turns amber by pressing it, and it turns green. Okay, we have no flashing here anyway. We also, I'm hoping, have one more test. So off. We started, clutch is going to be pressed. That was when I pressed, both of them changed. Is it as easy as that, lads? Right, we're gonna put that to sleep. We're going to turn it off. Was it all falling down and boiling down? It's not picking up that key. We're going to take up the key. 2 keys again. Start from the start. Come on now, baby. She locked. She flashed the hazard lights. Going to throw my secondary bad key over there. Back to the car. Unlock. We're out. In we go. I'm going to close my door. Key. Clutch pressed. Ooh, hey. Ooh, papa. Ooh, papa. Woohoo! Okay, so where are we at? Was the switch faulty or from another car or monkeyed around with by someone? We could do a test again and put that into the other car. I could. Maybe it's getting too long-winded. I got to be waffling on, as I said. We are done. Supery dupery. I'm going to class it as a close-up. Going to do a bit of final thoughts and thinking and driving and all that kind of stuff. But I'm happy at this point in time. Right now, I'm happy. I'm wrong. Radar right. This is not tied in to an immobilizer, which in theory, I believe I had seen before. But could there be different switches in differing cars? Don't know. Anyway, we're going to go. We're going to drive. We're going to assemble my stuff. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to make sure it's right. And hopefully I'll be giving you a thumbs up in a couple of minutes. Sounds good to me anyway. I can get my generic smile is back here. Happy days, boys. Guys, the last little proving thing to myself. I'm back over to my bad car. And I brought the switch out of the other car over here with me. And I've also taken a switch out of a 2012 CX-5 I have broken here, which does look slightly different because it doesn't have the chrome outset. It also doesn't have the green back. It has a black back, if you can see it in there. Okay, but that works in this car. Again, lights illuminated, press the clutch, green, press button, up running, turn it off, pretend I get out. Center locking worked. Center locking back open. Key running there. Et voila. Okay. Close up and final thought after a couple of hours, okay? We are done and dusted, guys. A couple of miles that have been done. Only 5, 8 miles, 10 miles, locked it twice, 3 times, blah, 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 blah. No flashing lights, live data coinciding with what we want to expect. 2 switches on, 2 switches off. What are my final thoughts on this? I actually have just been discussing or talking to the key chap. Alan is his name, from Keyfast in Waterford. He is a gentleman and a whiz. Okay, he knows his stuff. Really like Alan. So if you ever need anything done with keys, Keyfast in Waterford City. This one, we've just been discussing it. So what did we have? We had 3 problems wrong. We had our radio frequency for the lock and the unlock either corrupt and not giving a signal to the car, or the true and correct signal to the car. Then we had the proximity issue with both keys, the original one and the second one. Second one was doing the infrared or the radio frequency signal for locking and unlocking, but then we had a fault inside the button or the switch, which I thought was coded, but it's not, or tied into the car. Happy days. We are done. I am happy we're leaving this thing out. I do have a smile on my face. I am glad to see the back of it, but we had 3 faults. So if someone touches base with me, my car does this, what could be wrong? I don't know. As Alan said, it could be someone getting aggressive with the button, using the key and trying to make it work, or you don't know the history. What I didn't do, I can't tell you what happened. So I'm kind of surmising at this stage, but we had 3 problems here. 2 keys, 1 button, and then a proximity issue inside the keys. That's the same thing, but anyway, for this we're done. Guys, please like and subscribe if any of my hints and tips are any good to you, and if I was long-winded, I apologise. And bear with me on them. Sometimes they can be interesting. I find them interesting anyway. But I'll see you all in the next cartoon. Peter Kennedy, signing out. See you later, guys.